The Galactic Council chamber stretched 3 kilometers in diameter, a monument to 1,000 civilizations that had learned to coexist among the stars. Today it buzzed with an energy that felt different, sharper, more anticipatory. The humans were finally responding. Emma Chen stood at the human delegation's platform, her dark eyes scanning the assembled representatives. Beside her, Harry Morrison adjusted his collar, his jaw set in a way she'd learned meant he was holding back something volcanic. For 3 years they'd endured the council's condescension. For 3 years they'd smiled politely while being called primitives, warmongers, and worse. Today, that ended. The council recognizes the Terran delegation, announced Thexulan, the Vornathite counselor whose crystalline body refracted light in patterns that denoted barely concealed contempt. His species had mastered faster-than-light travel when humans were still painting caves. He never let anyone forget it. Emma stepped forward, her voice calm. "Thank you, Counselor. We've reviewed the proposed amendments to our admission status." "Ah, yes." Thexulan's harmonic voice dripped with what passed for amusement among his kind. "The probationary period extension. Surely you understand. Miss Chen, 3 years is hardly sufficient to determine if a species so recently emerged from their own gravity can contribute meaningfully to galactic civilization." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The Kethral delegation, massive beings of bioluminescent flesh, pulsed their skin in patterns of approval. The Synthesari, whose consciousness existed across networked drones, clicked in synchronized agreement. Harry's hand tightened on the railing. Emma touched his wrist. "Not yet. We understand your concerns," Emma continued. "However, we notice that no other species has faced a probationary period exceeding 18 months. The Velkari were granted full membership in 11 months. The Velkari," interjected Counselor Preshkin, a 4-armed methodax whose species prided themselves on logic, "did not arrive in the galactic community fresh from a planet-wide conflict. Your World War II ended barely 2 centuries ago, your infants playing with fusion reactors. And yet," Harry spoke for the first time, his voice cutting through the chamber like a blade, "we're the ones you called when the Zerothian plague threatened to wipe out the rimward colonies." The chamber fell silent. "We're the ones," Harry continued, stepping beside Emma, "who figured out how to synthesize the cure in 6 weeks when your best medical minds had spent 6 years getting nowhere." "A lucky breakthrough," Thexulan said dismissively. "Even a stopped chronometer." "We're the ones," Emma interrupted, her voice rising, "who lost 300 volunteers diving into that collapsing wormhole near Kepler 442 to save the hive ships. 300 humans died to save 18,000 Synthesari children because it was the right thing to do." "Commendable, certainly," Preshkin acknowledged, though his tone suggested otherwise. "But bravery and compassion don't equate to civilization. You still war among yourselves. Just last year, the Martian independence conflict was resolved through negotiation," Harry snapped. 12 casualties total in a political dispute involving 3 billion people. When was the last time the Methodax resolved anything without your battle fleets? Preshkin's skin flushed purple. Anger. Emma pulled up a holographic display. "For 3 years we've submitted to every inspection, every audit, every humiliating investigation. We've shared our technology, our culture, our art. We've contributed to 17 major scientific breakthroughs, solved the energy crisis on 6 council worlds, and mediated 3 separate conflicts. And yet," she continued, her voice hardening, "last week we intercepted this." The hologram shifted, showing a private council communication. Thexulan's harmonic signature was unmistakable. "The humans are useful tools, nothing more. Let them continue their probation indefinitely. Why grant them voting rights when they'll perform their services regardless? They're so desperate to be accepted." The chamber erupted, some species in outrage at the breach of protocol, others in embarrassment at being exposed. Harry leaned forward. "You want to know what makes humans dangerous, Counselor? It's not our weapons, though we've got plenty. It's not our technology, though we innovate faster than species with 10 times our lifespans." He paused, letting the silence build. "It's that we remember. Every slight, every insult. Every time you've looked at us like we're dirt on your appendages. We've stayed silent because we believed in this council. We believed in cooperation. We believed you'd judge us on our merits." Emma picked up the thread seamlessly. "But you've shown us the truth. This isn't about civilization or maturity. It's about keeping us in our place. About maintaining the old order where species like yours control everything. So here's our response to your probation extension, Harry said, and Emma heard the smile in his voice even though his face remained stone. Emma pulled up another display. These are applications from 47 species your council has never contacted. We found them. We've been talking to them. Species you ignored because they weren't advanced enough, or because they occupied territories you didn't care about. We're forming our own coalition, Harry announced, the Terran Alliance, open to any species regardless of development level, who believes in genuine cooperation rather than this hierarchical farce. Thexulan's crystalline form darkened. You wouldn't dare. We already have, Emma said coldly. 12 species have signed founding agreements. 20 more are in final negotiations. Combined, we represent 14% of known galactic territory and growing. The Zelani Commercial Guild has agreed to honor our trade agreements, Harry added, as have the Outer Rim mining consortiums. Turns out a lot of folks are tired of council regulations that favor the founding species. Emma straightened. We don't need your permission to be a civilization. We don't need your approval to have worth. You want to keep your exclusive club? Fine, enjoy it. But don't expect us to keep solving your problems for free. This is extortion, Preshkin roared. No, Harry corrected, his voice ice. Extortion is what you've been doing. Using our contributions without compensation while denying us basic representation. This is just business. Emma began gathering their materials. The Terran delegation withdraws its application for council membership. We'll be in contact regarding existing contractual obligations and their termination procedures. You're making a grave mistake, Thexulan warned, his harmonics taking on threatening overtones. Harry turned back. And now he did smile, sharp and dangerous. You know what humans say about mistakes? We learn from them. You should try it sometime. As they walked toward the exit, species they'd helped over the past 3 years began standing. First the Velkari, then the Rimward colonies, then others one by one until half the chamber was on their feet. Outside, Emma finally let out the breath she'd been holding. Think they'll come around? Harry laughed, the sound echoing off the pristine walls. Honestly? I don't care. We'll build something better. As their shuttle lifted away from the council station, Emma watched it shrink in the viewport. Somewhere behind them, she knew, emergency sessions were being called. Panicked communications sent. The old order was realizing too late what humanity had understood from the beginning. Respect wasn't given. It was earned, and if you refused to give it to those who'd earned it, they'd just build their own table, and humanity had always been good at building.